thought Contractors is top for VR FPS. Yeah, OG Contractors. I was obsessed with. That was the first shooter that I got into VR, and I was obsessed with it. Played fucking I don't even know how many hours. Need some tips on this game. I love it a lot, but it's hard to get my loot out with my head still attached. Yeah, man. Practice makes perfect. Don't get discouraged. If you want to learn how to get good, play slow. Go to Metro, bring a budget kit like a greaser gun and stuff like that, and just play slow. This game has been extremely good because with all the crashing, all the dying I've been doing, because like I'm not an amazing VR gamer. I'm not a fucking crazy gamer. Like I'm getting older. There's no way I'm a decent gamer. But this game, as hard as it is, it's still hard, but knows how to reward you properly. And that's Tarkov, man. Tarkov did that so beautifully. It is such a desperately hard game, but they know how to reward players with good loot, with scav raids, with really rewarding features in the game, really forgiving type features. This game really strikes that balance with me. That's one of the many things that it does that's like Tarkov, that it does so well. And it's super impressive. I'm like huge kudos to this game for sure. Proof of concept. Yep, they'll have to jump years in development just to catch up, at least at the current rate. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think you're right about that. It is proof of concept. You know what it really proved is that people are super interested in extraction shooters still. I think people are absolutely still. I think, in my opinion, extraction shooters are the most dynamic gameplay loop you could ever have as long as you do it properly. You need a lot of things done right for it to work and only a few things done wrong for it to just fail. But once you get it right, once you get that formula, like thinking of extraction shooters legitimately after playing Delta Force, after playing Cycle Frontier, after playing Hunt Showdown, I would honestly have to say, legitimately, just looking at this from a game standpoint, this is one of the best extraction shooters on the market. It being in VR has nothing to do with it. Just being an extraction shooter, it is one of the best ones. I think Escape from Tarkov, Hunt Showdown, arguably Delta Force, because there's a lot of things that are kind of messed up with it right now. I think those are the top 3 of my favorites. I think those are the top really good actual extraction shooters out, and then this game. I think this is one of the better extraction shooters that has ever come out. You got to realize how fucking lucky we are to have that, because as people who enjoy VR, the fact that one of those amazing games that happen to be extraction shooters happen to be VR is fucking awesome, right? That's what I find cool about that. So yeah, I got big praise for this game. Onward is the game that got me into VR shooters. Oh, nice. Yeah, Onward. Yeah, I played a lot of Onward. I really like it. It's cool. I think its IK is super messed up, but I'm surprised they haven't fixed their IK. It looks a little goofy, but I mean that's not a big deal. I like that it's a hardcore or low TTK type of game. Thanks. How long did it take you to learn a game like this? How long did it take me? Here's the thing. It's tough because I started playing Tarkov 4 years ago. So Tarkov was the OG extraction shooter type game, and then this game feels so similar to Tarkov that I'm applying so many things I know from Tarkov in this game. So right now, now that I've played this game a bit more, one of the first things I'll do loading into a raid is know where I loaded into and know where the spawns are of people. So that's a big one. So they call that map knowledge, right? And you want map knowledge so you know where spawns are, and then you start to learn once you start to learn spawns, you start to learn people's pathing. So you know where spawns are, then you start to learn where people are typically running through. You learn people's pathing, and so you go, okay, I'm gonna head straight to the mall. But if I head straight to the mall, I know there's a pathing from a spawn point down to where I want to go. So there's a likelihood I'm going to have PvP. Typically, when you go into those areas, you keep your head on a swivel, right? You go, okay, this is kind of a dangerous area. You kind of get that intuition. It's called game sense. You get that in-game intuition. So that's another one. I used to play DayZ. Oh, okay, so you could be familiar with how that works, having game sense and stuff. Yeah, so and this game just does that so well. Tabor has that to an extent, but not as much as say this game, because it's got bigger maps and it's more dynamic than Tabor for sure. So game sense makes a lot more sense. It helps you a lot more. Tabor, it's just the maps are really small. You're pretty much always going to get into PvP at the beginning of a raid. It's pretty straightforward. It's the battle royale of extraction shooters, because it's just you go run and gun and do your thing. It's it's for kids, I would have to say. It's literally a game for kids, and it's going to be crazy seeing Tabor grow in the future. future because there's going to be a lot of kids who aren't going to like it. They're not going to like that grown-up style. Like, this game's got like more of a, you wouldn't see like little fucking kids like I see in Tabor, literally kids that still have like their baby lisp playing Tabor. Like, this game, they would not want to play this game. They do not understand like the different calibers. They don't understand a lot of different things about this game. Tabor is super straightforward, pretty streamlined. It's very bare bones, very tech demo-y. So Tabor has more gun realistic options like safety. Yeah. You know, like, this game has variants. Like, look, this is a 7.62 variant of this gun. And this gun is a 5.45 variant of that gun. So they have variants, gun variants. They also have they have 3 different MP9 variants in this gun with different rail attachments. They have different AK-74U variants. This one's with the wooden grip. They have another one that has rails, so you can soup it out. Different M4 variants, different AKM variants. It's fucking awesome. They have rails on the MP5, scanners that make it pretty player friendly and do a lot of things that help you learn about the loot and different stats on the items that you're looting. They also have every piece of loot in the game has a use. Literally every piece of loot, you're going to need it for some sort of mission, hideout upgrade, or a cool little thing called procurements. It just makes every piece of loot have a use. You need loot for everything, and that's what makes looting a fucking something as stupid as rust cleaner or like a flashlight, you know, toothpaste, like, useful. It makes all the loot desirable in some way. That is super cool, because as much as pros will tell you, oh, I don't give a fuck about loot, I don't give a fuck about this or that, as much as any pro will be like, I don't care about looting, everybody cares about looting in some way. Pros will be like, yeah, I don't care about looting, I'm just in it for PvP and shit. Everybody likes looting, man. You're lying to yourself, you don't like looting. People love these games for looting. So just, my buddies like that. My buddy who showed me Tarkov. Oh, I don't give a fuck about loot. Just want a PvP. Bro, everybody cares about loot. You tell me you find a GPU, you're not like, fuck a GPU, and you try to, you know, you gotta get out of the raid alive with the GPU. Looting is an integral part of extraction shooters. That's why I'm not like a huge Hunt Showdown fan. I love Hunt Showdown. I think it's an incredible game, because it doesn't have loot, it's only about as quarter of popular as Tarkov. I think it would be more popular if it was a looting based extraction shooter. Even though I think it's an incredible game, it is like so well built and it is popular, it just doesn't even touch Tarkov in terms of the popularity. I've noticed a lot more children in this game. Oh, really? Gorilla Tag kids run CWS. Yeah, they do. I've noticed a lot more. They tell Scott how high to jump, i.e. Scavs nerf less than 12 hours. I know, it's ridiculous, and like, he shouldn't have done that. And maybe he'll buff them once they start adding more complex AI and then scav runs. That would make sense. Like, just, you need to buff them. Don't make them fucking stupid, because like, it's so dumb. It is what it is. It is more of a PvP focused game, I would have to say, because of the smaller maps and stuff. This game was super cool because they were able to, because in Tabor they're like, oh, our most popular map is Silo, we have to make smaller maps, right? So in this game they go, you know what, we're not going to have smaller maps. I mean, we're going to have one, but we're going to be able to make big Tarkov style maps, because we're going to have so many things to do and so many features. That goes to show that this game has so much more than Tabor, because they were able to have big maps and them still be popular, because there's so much to do, there's so many POIs, there's so many loot spots, there's so many enemy AI variants. Tabor doesn't have any of that shit, man. It's garbage compared to that. That's why this game is able to branch off and be like, Tabor was like, oh, we need to make like PvP maps, because they don't have anything else you can do in the fucking game. You have to go in there and do PvP. It's essentially that's all you can do, and that's fine. But I mean, there's just no dynamic. There's no dynamics. The number one ode to an extraction shooter is having dynamic gameplay, having a dynamic loop, that's why you can wipe every 6 months and do it all over again, and do it for like, I've seen people with over like 3,500 hours in that type of game, Tarkov and stuff. That's why you can have people repeat wipes, because each wipe is so fucking different. You have so much going on and so many different adventures, you could say. Every time you go into a raid, it's some different adventure you're engaging in. Do you run solo or duo or trio? I like to run solos and duos. I like how every patch adds something new, like most recent pilot helmet. I know, it's so weird. They added some, like, I noticed that too. I was like walking through the locker room and I was like, why is there like a pilot helmet? And you put it on, it has this weird like glare on it. Okay. And the pilot helmet's tier 1. Tabor had Tarkov style maps. People would complain that they're copying Tarkov. That's the thing, man. Like, it's weird because, like, Maul, I don't know. Like, I don't want to. Tabor is, like, such a bad game in my mind. I, like, can't help but just say it's a terrible game. Think about if Tarkov was like, we came out with a new map. It's a mall, except you can't leave the mall. It's just a mall, and you're stuck in this mall. People would be like, that map's, like, but we already have factory. Why do we need another like small map where there's no dynamic geography in the map? You know, Interchange is a cool map because there's this huge outside area. There's military camps on the outside of the mall. You can go in the mall. You can go in different areas. What else is cool? Like, I don't know, even Shoreline. Like, Shoreline's a huge map, but has multiple POIs. You're not just stuck in a resort. Imagine if they released a map and it was just resort. People would be like, well, okay, but we already have factory, right? You don't want resort. We already have factory. Like, we want big cool maps. So Tarkov's been really, so like Tabor, to me, it's like, oh, we have silo, you know, we have the mall map, Shadov Mall, we have like underground, and it's only tunnels. Like, there's no dynamic in any of those maps. It's just floors, and it just feels weird. I don't know. And like Island is cool, but it's only got 3 POIs, essentially, at least 3 POIs that people only go to. And I feel like that map is more enjoyable because of that. It's got, you know, it's more open world, it's got more POIs, more places to go, but there's no dynamic enemy AI. There's no military type NPCs. There's no, everything's the same. Why would you go into that game and play PvE? The environment is so bare bones and so like barren, you know? There's just no reason to play that game except to PvP. They got a lot of money behind them now, and they got a lot of developers, so we'll see where they go. The game needs to be basically be completely different if they're gonna be at all catch up to this game. The game needs to completely change. They need to add variety of NPCs, including roaming bosses. They need to add, Island needs a complete reboot, because it's, in my opinion, it's their best map, but they need to fix all the graphics in there. They need to sort that map out a lot instead of pigeonhole us. You know what pigeonholing is in video games? All the good sniping spots in that fucking map, they like put up rock there, or they put like an invisible wall. They're pigeonholing people's play styles now, which is fucking stupid. There's just like no point in doing that stuff. You're destroying the dynamic in an attraction shooter, and I just don't think the game's gonna last. This game's gonna continue doing what it's doing here. This game's gonna continue laying waste. Tabor is going to fucking just fail, and they're gonna lose popularity. Like, they don't have any dynamic in the game. You know, I've had so many people say that they like Tabor because it's more of a battle royale-esque, a very shallow version of an extraction shooter. That's cool, man. Like, and I'm sure the game will do fine, but it will not. This will be the new top dog for sure if they continue doing it this way. This is the way. Customizable chest rigs that are far more customizable than, I saw a Reddit post today of Tabor's chest rigs, and the customization's horrible. They put like an NRS pouch, 2 mag pouches, and then like the rest of the chest rig you couldn't even use. This game, you have like highly customizable chest rigs and loadouts. Yeah, that's just one of, 10,000 things I could say that they do better than Tabor. But yeah, I'm just going on a tangent about it. Why are you streaming at this time? Hernia hearing about Tabor's DMZ. I know, it absolutely is though. They got no lean peeking. Tabor is goofy as fuck, man, because like when you're clearing a house, you only have like one type of movement, and that's running. Like, you're running. Like, yes, your high ready is slower, but not when you're trying to peek corners. Like, when I'm like clearing the house and stuff, and I'm trying to move at the same time, like Tabor, you're like running. This game, you're peeking around corners, you're doing this. You can walk and peek at the same time, bending around corners like this to check a room like that. Like, it's so fun. It feels really good in this game. Like, everything feels very intuitive. Tabor, the movement's just fucking stupid. You feel like a PS1 wax character that just run and gun and shoot. It's not the game that they're trying to make it right now, and that's fine. Hopefully it gets there someday, but like, let's be honest, that game is absolute good dog shit compared to this. But yeah, no, I'm very excited to see the future, because you got Vale, who's coming out.